I optimized the science of aim theory and exploited its potential.
Whoa! Who are they peeking? Who are they peeking?
Wait, what?
7 months ago, I explored the key fundamentals of achieving Aimbot, but even though what I learned helped raise my skill ceiling, I was still pretty inconsistent with my aim. Riding the beast might be enough for some, but I wanted to tame it. Loose training results in loose results. That's what I told myself, as I spent a week following an actual structured aiming regiment that has the potential to go across a span of weeks. Literal workout days. Mondays, benchmarking. Tuesdays, weaknesses. Wednesdays, Valorant heavy scenarios. Weaknesses again, Valorant again, weaknesses one more time, and a final benchmark to see how much I improved for the week. But I'm not stopping there. Even though we already had a regiment to look forward to, I committed each day to learn at least one thing per session, all for the sake of widening the scope of our aiming horizon so we might be able to achieve the lightning in the bottle that's known as Aimbot. But we're getting ahead of ourselves because we still need to make sure that we're making the absolute most of our first day. Benchmark or benchmarking. Benchmark, noun, a standard or point of reference against things may be compared or assessed. We got standard, point of reference, basis, gauge, criterion, and specification. Like the name suggests, we're just trying to gather our bearings for the journey and see where our starting point is. But that doesn't mean I'm just gonna sit back and let the results come to me. As a burning blue rose, I decided to use today to push my mechanical prowess to its absolute limits. Because between you and me, limit testing is the backbone of Aimbot. We must learn what we can and cannot do, so we can establish a rulebook that will give us a guideline to refine our play. And once we refine our play, we must find weapons to complement our style. Only when we achieve self-actualization will we be bestowed with the opportunity to look at the rules we placed upon ourselves and break it. And it actually starts on the first game, where I challenge how a duelist should operate around the map on attack. So as the scoreline suggests, we've steadily been a step behind the enemy team for as long as this game's been going on. So I'm thinking, since we've been so readable, how about I take mid so we inherently have more options? And my team's down for the plan.
Bet. I'll throw you a dart, and then I'll hold
So I do the duelist thing and forcibly take mid, and things go well until I realize I'm the only dude here. I found myself with the sole responsibility of stopping rotations through mid, which sounds great until I realize if I mistime which angle I hold, not only will my position be useless, but I might very well die and forever be marked as a baiting duelist. I needed to be very careful with and here comes the hard part. If I look at market too early, I risk getting killed by cat. But if I hold cat for too long, someone will cross into market, which could give them a chance to kill my teammates. Alright, chat. It's time to see if my clock is. Nice, I was right. But that's not where today ended. Since I pushed the limit of my understanding towards how the enemy team is gonna behave, it gave me more freedom to exploit their defense. And on round 11, I found the perfect moment to test my mechanical prowess to its absolute limits. Jet's gonna be up in cat, but I'll be ready for it. Damn, we got one dagger left, but it's still so early into the round. Ugh, whatever. I'll run it down anyway. We made it up mid, but I'm thinking I could peek CT, but the only way I'll get enough speed for the peek to be good is if I use my knives. But I'm down to my last dagger. The owl drone doesn't see anything. Okay, I'll do it. I'll get back into the battle. Yeah, I'm not hitting that. Peek me. Oh, I made it to their spawn. Wait, 2 enemies? I should switch to my phantom. But I know I could do it.
Here, let's go in.
One enemy remaining.
Bro, that's from B.
So yeah, there goes day 1. But what did I learn for today? It all gets summed up to this quote: the enemy is guilty before they are innocent, which basically means you'll never know just how many holes your enemy team has until you actually challenge them. It's better to not respect them at the start and see what you can get away with, than respecting them off rip and try to play a normal game of Valorant, even though the enemy team's Cypher didn't even bother sending a mid, or even Cypher that matter, because you never know what might happen. But all I knew was it was time to keep compounding knowledge, to continue figuring out the pieces of optimizing aim theory and achieving Aimbot, and head to the next day, which is weaknesses. So let's start. Weaknesses, the state or condition of lacking strength. We got feebleness, enfeeblement, puniness, fragility, and delicateness. When you're working on weaknesses, you're inherently just going to learn more than you usually do. But even so, I changed, bro.
Oh wow.
I was just so much more reliable after the routine. I played 3 games today and here were my stats. First game, 19 kills, 16 deaths, 3 assists, which is tame, until you look at my 46 headshot rate. Now for my second game, 17 kills, 16 deaths, 13 assists with a 27 win rate, which is alright, nothing too big. But the final game, oh my god. I got 25 kills, 9 deaths, 0 assists, with a 47 win rate, which is crazy. So you guys might be wondering, what the hell did you do and learn for your aim to become not just more reliable, but seemingly automatic? Well, I'll show you guys. It's actually really straightforward. Starters, I switched to Aim Labs. Since Aim Labs not only has a ranking system, but physically shows you what your weaknesses are. So what I did was simple. I looked at my weakest category and just did it until it raised and repeated the cycle. And I really mean this. And when I say that I mean this, I really mean this. I really had to lock in for the scenarios. And the scenarios weren't even that complicated, they were just challenging, and it taught me a very important lesson that actually extended to Valorant. It forced me to internalize the mantra of respecting the rules of the task in front of me.
Alright, we got the scale.
This isn't ideally what I'd push, but it's my job, so I guess we're doing this. We're 2 rounds down. I can't really afford to not take them seriously. I have to respect the fact that Sova is probably still here. Now, what's the safest way to take a fight while keeping my life? The pre-fire. The pre-fire is a shooting technique where you shoot at an angle before seeing the enemy. It reduces the steps of skipping the time of aligning the shot as well as reacting to the target. I'll rate it 3 out of 10 difficulty. I used to think the only way of improving was ignoring the rules and learn through trial and error, but respecting guidelines is actually exposing me to higher levels of play that I didn't expect out of this.
And he's stabilizing.
Enemy kill. Night night.
Neutralized.
But now it was time for days 3 and 4, which were Valorant heavy scenarios and weaknesses. And you're probably wondering why you're getting a 2-for-1 deal. That's because on day 3, I just became more and more like Mr. Reliable. Easy kills were easy and hard kills were even easier. And since the epiphany I had on day 2, I was sticking to the rules and playing even better. But even though I was playing better, on day 4 I found myself playing Jet less and less. My mechanics were still improving, but the moments where I needed to hit a flick were becoming less and less apparent. Mr. Reliable is cool, but what about the egoists that can make the impossible possible? Has he grown obsolete? For the sake of achieving Aimbot the way I want it to, I needed to figure out a way to merge Mr. Reliable with my classic duelist style, and I think I had just the right idea. And that starts again on day 5, with Valorant heavy scenarios. It's hard to add any new information on the field of Valorant heavy scenarios since it's already pretty straightforward, but I think I got a good tip for it. Each day I committed about 30 minutes for aim training, but for Valorant heavy scenarios I did 15 minutes in Kovacs and the other remaining time in actual Valorant. And this was the playlist I did in Kovacs. I'm not sure if I would bore you guys or not if I showed y'all what I did in the range, so I'm not going to bother this time, but if you guys are interested, tell me in the comments. But we had bigger fish to fry. Since the aiming day was so straightforward, I started to look into different venues. Since this video started, we established the concept of limit testing, found the merit of respecting the rules of the game, and refined it to a point where I'm not the same player I was when we first started, which leads us to the next step of evolution, trying to find weapons to complement our style. I learned the art of anticipation a few months back, and I was still pretty good at it. Like, I completely faked out this Jet. I could always count on it to get me in a good position anytime, anywhere. Even on a match where nothing was going how it was supposed to. I was still able to only be negative by 1. But while I sat there, dumbfounded at the result of the game, I had a clutch realization. Trying to figure out your strengths is a fool's game that results in needless hassle. What if I just stole a weapon from an already established player? But which pro? Tens? Something? Osboss? Haven't you guys realized? If I'm looking for reliability, there's only one duelist that fits that description.
Oh, not for Remain! Adjustment! Necessary, and second comes up with the goods and more!
Really hungry. I just want to win.
But what does it mean to model our play on this exceptional player? Well, that's something we'll cover on the 6th day, on weaknesses, which is strangely poetic in a way. But yeah, let's go. We lost pistol round in spectacular fashion, and more often than not, when you lose pistol round, usually because the enemy team just has stronger guns, and you know how that goes. So in order to pull a fast one on them, we needed to get creative, which starts with the first thing I stole from Zekin, his ability to vocalize his ideas in a simple, straightforward way. But how do we apply that here? Well, you probably have a good idea what guns they have. Spectres, Guardians, Marshals, Outlaws, the whole shebang. Guns that specialize in mid-range duels. So I had an idea to flip it on their head. We'd given ourselves space to walk up using the smoke, but it actually had a second meaning. You see, A short is probably the most range heavy part of A sight, but after that, everything is hyper close up. Our budget guns were literally made for this. So as the enemy team held normal angles, wondering why we smoked ourselves off, it was to give us space to set up hyper close gunfights, which allowed us to forcefully take momentum. But this battle was just getting started, as I was finding more clarity in Zekin's style, which leads to the second thing I stole from him, his patience and contact heavy play style, which means in simple terms, moving up on angles without using any util, taking fights dry. But where does patience come in? Well, sometimes the answer's right in front of you. Throughout the heaven and earth, I alone am the honored one. I may not be using my aim to get multi-frags like something or Jing, but who said that was a bad thing? I know my time will come. I just needed to challenge myself harder on the final day.
Nice shot, Cookie Bear.
The final aiming day, huh? We've had some good times, but this story is coming to an end. We established the limits of the game, defined our guidelines to reach peak performance, and now found insane weapons, all for the sake of this moment, of breaking our limits so we can reach new heights, new domains, by having it all move in tandem with each other for the final part of optimizing the lightning in the bottle, which is aim theory, which starts on game 2, day 7. It was a cold and starry night on Icebox. We decided that defaulting was going to give us the best odds of winning, but little did we know we would start dropping like flies. 1 became 2 and 2 became 3, leaving us in a 2v5. And given the bomb being down, the entire team had map control. And I mean everywhere. But I was ready. I was more than ready. I was in my element. Domain expansion. Range of 1,000 taps. This video wouldn't have been possible without... If someone were to tell me you can hire a Radiant duo for just $1, I would have laughed in your face with woeful glee. Which brings me to the sponsor of today's video, Tapin.gg, which is basically a site that has tons of Radiants in circulation that are here to help you, no matter the elo, no matter the time. And if you use the link in my description, you can literally try them out for just $1 and see how you feel about them. I think. Never really been good at math, but I do know that it's worth a try. So yeah, try Tapping.gg today in the description. Now back with regular programming. And now back to business. Spike's down. They could be anywhere. It's me and Jet. I almost have full util. They're probably swarming Spike. They could be anywhere. Wait. They could be anywhere. Domain expansion. Range of 1,000 taps. This technique is called hit confirmation. Amateurs only use 1 flick to hit their target, but experienced veterans use 2 flicks. One to get into their general area, and the second one for the actual target. But since I'm in the zone, those rules don't apply to me. I used the initial flick to get near the target, but I have to be aware of the Jet's lethal pre-aim, and the time it would take for him to adjust is probably 3 times faster than mine. So instead of doing another micro adjustment, I'm going to use my entire body to align the shot, while throwing off my opponent's pre-aim in 1 fluid motion. 1 tap! Those rules don't apply to me. I'll use my body to align the shots. I may not be using my aim to get multi-frags like something or Jing, but who said that was a bad thing? 1 tap! It was a kill that echoed through the entire map. Surely you didn't think it was going to be that easy. Whether it be 5 of us or just 1 of us, we're still prepared to completely dominate. That's one, and I hear the other. Is this gonna be an ace? Let this be a lesson to you guys. If you work hard, you can achieve any— What the fuck is your— Except an ace, I guess. You know, it's whatevs, because we got to Ascendant 2 after months of being washed. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Yeah, I don't know what happened. I just decided to make a video, I guess. I don't know what that was. But I am back. Dadashi is back. And we're gonna kick things off with daily upload. Nah, I'm just messing around. But in all seriousness, thank you for the patience. I really appreciate it. A lot's been going on, but I'm here. And I ain't leaving. Because not only did we lose a mortal, but we have yet to reach Radiant to prove that we can make the impossible possible. Because I am an egoist.